Elon Musk just helped Ukraine in the war with Russia. This is like a super scary horror movie that suddenly became real. It's horrifying to even imagine what would happen if I were in Ukraine now. From here, we can only pray for the Ukrainians. Russia's terrifying declaration of war terribly shook the world, and the aftermath of the lethal attacks is spine-chilling. Most countries are supporting the Ukrainians and doing what they can to some extent. The Ukraine government is relentlessly asking for help from the world, and this time the richest person in the world, Elon Musk, came forward to help them. In today's video, we are going to discuss the current scenario of the ongoing war and look at how the visionary tech genius Elon Musk just helped Ukraine in the war with Russia. Stay tuned till the end of the video. Hello everyone, welcome to Elon Musk Planet. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update on new things we bring for you regarding the tech magnate Elon Musk and his wild endeavors. That being said, let's begin. Russia has begun a catastrophic war on Ukraine, a European democracy with 44 million people. For months, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed that he would invade Ukraine. Then he ripped up a peace agreement and sent troops across the country's north, east and south borders. As the death toll rises, he is accused of ruining Europe's calm. What happens next might put the continent's whole security system in jeopardy. Days after Russia's Putin announced a full-scale assault from the north, east and south, Russian forces are closing in on Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. On February 24th, Putin said Russia could not feel secure, develop or exist due to what he believed was a persistent danger from contemporary Ukraine in a TV speech. Then he publicly declared a full-scale war against Ukraine. First, airports and military offices were bombed. Then tanks and troops from Russia, Russian-annexed Crimea, and ally Belarus moved into Ukraine. Many people throughout the world feel President Putin's arguments were frequently inaccurate or unreasonable. He said that his purpose was to safeguard those who had been bullied or subjected to genocide, as well as to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. And you guys already know that there has been no genocide in Ukraine, which is a thriving democracy governed by a Jewish president. Don't ask me what's the point then. I am as confused as you guys. To tell the truth, the dispute between them is not new at all. Since Ukraine's pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych, was overthrown in 2014, following months of protests against his government, President Putin has regularly accused the country of being taken over by radicals. Then in 2015, Mr. Putin cancelled a peace settlement for the east and declared rebel-controlled territories independent. Russia captured Crimea's southern area and sparked a revolt in the east, supporting rebels against Ukrainian soldiers in a war that has cost 14,000 lives. Later in 2021, Russia began measuring soldiers on Ukraine's borders. Russia has long opposed Ukraine joining the European Union and NATO, the West's defensive military alliance. He accused NATO of endangering their historic future as a country as he announced Russia's incursion. Russia gathered around 150,000 troops on Ukraine's borders for weeks in an attempt to persuade Western countries not to allow Ukraine to join NATO by threatening invasion. Russian President Vladimir Putin launched a special military operation in Ukraine's Donbas area on Thursday, 24th February, which soon escalated into precise bombings on Kiev, Kharkiv, and Ivano-Frankivsk, as well as the deployment of tanks from the Belarus-Ukraine border towards Lviv. The Russian Navy is striking from the coasts of Mariupol and Odessa, and forces have taken control of the Chernobyl nuclear power facility and are marching towards Kiev, the Ukrainian capital. As of Saturday, intense airstrikes, missiles from the sea, air and land were being exchanged between Russian and Ukrainian armies in Sumy, Poltava and Mariupol. Over 100,000 Ukrainians have fled the country, with many of them taking refuge in bomb shelters. Many foreign nationals who resided in Ukraine are being transported through Hungary and Romania. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the European Union imposed maximum impact on sanctions on Russia, affecting the country's banking, energy and transportation sectors, as well as visa policies and exports. The US has imposed sanctions on Russia institutions, restricted international business with Moscow, and frozen Putin's personal assets. As a consequence of the war, over the last 3 days, Ukraine's connectivity has been severely harmed, particularly in the southern and eastern regions, which have seen the most intense military action. On Thursday, the connection to Gigatrans, which is Ukraine's primary internet provider, dropped below 20% of the normal level. Water supply and other essential amenities have also been disrupted in Ukraine. However, Ukraine has stated that it is prepared to fight back in one of the country's most difficult conflicts in recent history. The war is most intense in the east and south, and Russia announced on Saturday that it will expand its offensive in all directions. God knows what happens next. The Ukraine government is continuously urging the world for help. Recently, Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister, Mikhailo Fedorov, urged SpaceX CEO Elon Musk to send Starlink stations, which are internet beaming satellites launched by SpaceX, in an attempt to give the nation satellite internet while the country continues to be invaded by Russian soldiers. He reportedly asked the American billionaire to encourage sane Russians to oppose the insensitive conduct of their governments. Fedorov, who is also the Minister of Digital Transformation, tweeted about it, tagging Elon Musk. He said, "While you try to colonize Mars, Russia tried to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and to address sane Russians to stand." As we all know how big-hearted a person Elon Musk is, he took no time to come up with a solution. Musk said a few hours later on Saturday that Starlink service is already operational in Ukraine. He tweeted, responding to Fedorov's tweet, "Starlink service is now active in Ukraine. More terminals en route." The entire world is praising Mr. Musk for his generosity. Fedorov's response to his announcement was as follows: "Starlink terminals are coming to Ukraine. Thank you," at Elon Musk. "Thank you everyone who supported Ukraine." On Friday, SpaceX launched its second batch of Starlink satellites, which give internet access to paying customers all around the world. Over 1,700 satellites have been launched by the business, with several passing over Ukraine. According to the EMEA Tribune, Ukraine has no ground stations that will allow Ukrainians to use the network. However, the station closest is in Poland's Wola Krobowska. For those who are wondering how Starlink can actually help the Ukrainians in this situation, let me explain what Starlink is. Starlink is a SpaceX-operated satellite broadband constellation that provides satellite internet connectivity to the majority of the Earth's surface. By 2021, the constellation will have grown to approximately 1,700 satellites, with many thousands of mass-produced tiny satellites in low Earth orbit communicating with approved ground transceivers. While satellite internet service is technically feasible for the majority of the world's population, it can only be offered in nations where SpaceX has been granted a license to provide service inside a specific national jurisdiction. The beta internet service is accessible in 29 countries as of February 2022. According to a Reuters article quoting NetBlocks authorities, the countrywide connection is presently at 87% of normal levels. Service delays, population flight to escape the war, and businesses shutting down might all be factored in the reduction in connection. As a result, Musk's internet service would at the very least assist individuals in staying in touch with their loved ones throughout this conflict with Russia. Also, the whole world can uninterruptedly monitor the situation in Ukraine through the social media posts of Ukrainians. Alongside Musk, other tech giants also tried to help Ukraine to some extent. Google, SpaceX's California neighbor, attempted to restrict funding flowing to Russian media sites via advertisements on Saturday. It forbade RT, Russia's state-owned news agency, and other networks from running advertisements on their apps, websites, and YouTube videos. Facebook also has already implemented such a precaution. Mikhailo Fedorov had approached YouTube to prohibit the propagandist Russian channels, such as Russia 24, TASS, and RIA Novosti. After that, due to exceptional circumstances, YouTube announced it was pausing a handful of channels' ability to monetize on YouTube. Further, state-owned Russian media cannot buy advertisements through Google tools owing to Google's restrictions. They also can't advertise on Google's search and email services. On the other hand, Twitter, which is widely used for communication during the Ukraine-Russia crisis, said on Saturday that it is restricting access to selected Russian users. In a tweet, the microblogging site stated that it is trying to ensure that its service is secure and accessible. Twitter is also blocked on major Russian networks, according to NetBlocks. We can see Elon Musk's SpaceX and other tech businesses are doing whatever they can for Ukraine. Other countries of the rest of the world also extend their hands of support to the country in a non-violent way. We just hope the war will end as soon as possible so that it doesn't lead to a deadly World War III. What do you think about it? Do you think that the World War is inevitable, or there is a possibility of peace restoration? Tell me in the comments. So the video is at its end. If you like this video, then don't forget to share it with your friends and near ones. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon right next to it, so you will never miss any video from our channel. See you in the next one. Until then, peace.